Hey everybody, welcome back to Tales and Tales, and for the month of July we are going to be doing the Disney, The Jungle Book, The Strength of the Wolf is the Pack. This is actually sort of a movie novelization fleshed out of the newer Disney movie that Disney did a couple years ago, which was kind of inspired by the one that they did way back when, and I'll probably put the date of actually that somewhere around me. And then actually before that, there was Rudyard Kipling's books that actually inspired all of this. And some of you might be thinking, okay, there's no wolves in the jungle. I guess in Rudyard Kipling's jungle there is. Part of me wonders if that's kind of along the lines, the old saying of, were you raised in a barn, or you act like you were raised by a pack of wolves. I feel like maybe that was mine. Maybe that's the only thing my brain can figure. But who knows what Rudyard Kipling's was, because he actually lived in India for a while, which is kind of interesting, until he was like 5 or 8. But anyways, here is the book. We'll come back to it in just a minute. And your bag that you will get with it this month is old school. I did like the old school Jungle Book movie, the animated version. And this is that, and it's the Jungle Book, and it has got, of course, you got Baloo and Kaa and Shere Khan, Bagheera, Mowgli. And I don't remember if that little elephant had a name or not. Bagheera, Mowgli, and the little elephant that I'm not sure if he had a name or not. If he did, I'll try to put that here somewhere around me. But anyways, it has got a neat little maze, a word search, and a joke. Goes knock knock. Who's there? Bal. Bal who? Baloo the bear, that's who. Just silly little thing. Anyways, I did kind of get some inspiration from the original one, because there is also a bookmark that looks like the original. That looks like the original Kaa from the movie, and there will be instructions on that. There is also on the Kaa bookmark, you'll have the directions. I'll make sure to get you those. And I will attempt to put this on cardstock if we have this color cardstock. But there will be the Kaa base and the eyes, and then the spotted back and the head. And you'll have a little multi-layer bookmark. If these aren't colored, you can kind of make your own Kaa, I guess. Do whatever sort of coloring on the back that you like, and be creative. So I'll just have to see if we have the colored cardstock it needs. And basically for this craft, you're going to need scissors to cut it out. But anyways, you'll have the instructions, which I think was an interesting choice. Back to the movie differences, is in the old animated version, Kaa was a male snake, and in the newer one, Kaa is a female. I think voiced by Scarlett Johansson. I'll correct myself somewhere here if I'm wrong, but I thought that was kind of interesting. But then there is also the Jungle Book origami leaf. Y'all are probably going to be tired of origami by the time I'm done with this, but we're going to have fun with it in the meantime. But I thought this Jungle Book leaf was really neat. You'll get some green construction paper, and then all that you'll really need will be scissors, a protractor or a ruler, and a pencil. And there will be step-by-step instructions of how to do it. You'll be folding your paper first, and I'll try to include a how-to on this too. But you'll be folding it, and then you will make a neat little leaf. Right there, I don't know if you can see it, but, and of course, I tend to generally try to include some sort of a recipe. Hopefully you guys weren't too grossed out by last month's. Anyways, this time we're going to have 2 recipes, and we're going to have Baloo's Bare Necessities Bars. Bare Necessities. But Baloo's Bare Necessities bark, which you'll need dark chocolate chips, chopped nuts or trail mix, assorted dried fruits, pumpkin seeds, banana chips, and wax paper. So think of it as it's kind of a healthier kind of snack, sort of. Like peanut brittle, but more versatile. It's kind of like thin trail mix covered in chocolate. is a good way, I guess, to describe it. But then there is also the Jungle Book Honey Cupcakes. And for this one, you'll need butter, flour, salt, eggs, vanilla, buttermilk, sugar, baking powder, and some honey. So that one's actually not too many things that would be out of ordinary that you would probably have in your own house. If there is some sort of food allergy in your house that you can't use some of these sort of things, then you can generally go online and find some sort of an alternative for whatever it is you can't have, whether you can have gluten or whatever. Now to the book, we are going to read, as usual, the chant sort of thing that the wolves actually call out in this. Something kind of interesting in it is, I believe, from some reading I done this morning, some research, is it was actually from the Rudyard Kipling books, which we have some of those, and he's got one that's the Just So stories, and we have those here, and we have different ones of Rudyard Kipling's books if you are interested in checking out the original ones. But the quote in here before we actually start the book is, "Like the creeper that girdles a tree trunk, the law runneth over and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack." Tell you what, we may actually read, may go a little bit farther than we normally do. We may actually read the whole prologue, and then actually into the first chapter. Because actually the prologue in this book is in Shere Khan the tiger's point of view, which he's a little bit more frightening than he was in the Disney one, or animated one. The tiger could already taste the boy. He burned his way through the jungle, bright hide lighting the brush with flickers of black and orange as he cut through the night. There was no real fire, no spark of man's red flower, not yet. But the fury in his belly could have raised the world. Only one thing could feel his hunger. The tiger ran on, up and over the trees, great feet that curled their toes into the cold earth. Past the vines that coiled like snakes at his heels, he ran. He thought of his prey with sinister delight. He wanted his prey to be strong, to have fight in it. Easy would be an insult. Easy was not the tiger way. Tigers have few tails. Some say tigers don't have time for stories. They move too fast. Their paws too burdened. Their mouths already too full. There's no room for tales on their tongues. But every tiger has one tale, the tale of the hunt. The hunt that lasts a lifetime. The kill that writes the hunter's story in fear and blood. The tiger was telling his story now, with every leap and bound and stretch of his great shoulders. He told his story. He smiled as he ran, white teeth like shards of moonlight filling his mouth. Shere Khan hunted the man cub. And I mean, if you've watched the animated version of this movie, you kind of know how it turns out. The Chase, chapter 1. This one's a little bit cheerier. Anyways, so chapter 1, The Chase. The man cub ran. He scuttled over the jungle's back, grabbing branch and boulder and hurling himself forward, moving so quickly he was closer to falling, always just catching himself with his next footfall. Mowgli picked up his pace, barely breathing, his body like the river, moving, bending, twisting, but never breaking, surging between trees and over earth, rushing from one moment into the next. He pushed himself faster and faster, leaves whipping in his face and arms. The boy was 12, or as close to that as anyone could figure, and his body was lean and muscled, brown as the bark of the banyan tree, and hairless as the crocodile, save for a tuft of unruly black hair atop his head. He had lived in the jungle all of his life, and it showed as he moved like a native animal through the trees. He leapt and tucked his body, flipping onto a high branch, then heard sudden movement behind him. Instinctively, he leaped off of the edge of a great thick tree branch and vaulted from the jungle canopy. Mowgli landed in the midst of a pack of young wolves and moved on all fours as the others did. They snapped at him as they sprinted together, then reorganized themselves around Mowgli and ran in a pack, breathing as one, each footfall beating the earth. The music of the hunt, the song of the jungle. So that was actually the first 6 paragraphs, but it was a better stopping point. But if you guys are interested in picking this book up, if you've watched any of these videos before, you know the drill. You can either give us a call at 606-348-8565, or you can just drop by and pick one up and just tell them that you want the July book club, like the man club. Anyways, my brain went into Disney mode. But if you are interested in picking this up, just give us a call at 606-348-8565, or just let whoever's at the front desk know that you would like the Teen July Book Club book. And I will try to have a little slip in there if you guys are interested in meeting about the date and time and any of the details on that. So I will let you guys go, and I will see you the next time for whatever video is next after this. Bye. And actually, the line that a bird just hit the window.